Hello friend, today I am going to read English book 8th class NCERT. Notes for the teacher. General. Learning a language means using it for a wide variety of purposes. Language is best acquired when attention is focused on meaning, not on form. Words and phrases not closely related to object and action remain empty and lifeless to young learners. Language comes alive when presented in meaning making context. Words, phrases that are used to accomplish many useful purposes follow a certain system inherent in the language itself. Learner become familiar with the systems through continuous exposure to the language in meaning focused situation. Introduction, discussion and sharing of ideas among learners provide opportunities that elicit real information about them and their experiences and opinions. Encourage learners to work in pairs and small groups and let them go beyond the textbook of providing a variety of language inputs for spontaneous and natural use of language. Build on the exercise given in the textbook and design more task activities in keeping with learner interested needs and surroundings. Employ free response exercise with more than one possible response. Promote reading habits through story reading, not merely teaching stories as text. Story retelling, choral reading, shared reading, etc. Create class libraries for exchange of books and shared reading. The library may also move with children to the next higher class. Poem need not be taught line by line, word by word. You may give a model reading, but let every child read the poem on his own to feel the richness of languages, rhythm and music of words. Exercise accompanying the poem are more for understanding the poem as whole than for teaching language items. Advertisement is also literary genre. You will find that some advertisements have been given on the inner covers of the textbook. Have a discussion in the class on this concern. You may ask them to do a project on these social issues and concerns, such as educating the girl child, environment protection. Encourage learners to tell new stories, narrate anecdotes, compose short poems in English or their own language, talk about pictures, illustration in the book and cartoons in newspapers, magazines. Don't get anxious about the errors they will make. Constant exposure, practice and correction in the form of feedback will help them improve themselves by every page has column for words and meanings. Encourage children to write down other words they find difficult along with their meaning in this column. Units 1-3. the best Christmas present in the world. Some suggestions given below are applicable to all proposed lessons in the book. A war story against the backdrop of Christmas, a festival marked by family reunion, exchange of present, and universal bond. Hobby Connie, aged 101, receives a present from a stranger whom she mistakes for her long awaited husband. What is the present? The letter or the mistakes identify of the visitors. Spend about 20 minutes discussing the dates and events given under before you read. Since the answers are given later in the book, the focus should be on the nature of each event, whether in human terms the event recalls defeat and destruction or in endeavor and success. Let children express their own views, even if their observations do not reveal any understanding of the nature of events. The discussion session will provide an excellent base for intending work on the story under reference. The story is sectioned into three parts. Part second and third may be sectioned further according to convenience and time available. Discuss each illustration with reference to the story. Illustrations are given for better comprehension and sharper visual appeal. Comprehension check. At the end of each section is recall of what children have read so far. Design while reading comprehension exercise in the form of the factual comprehension questions, multiple choice question and or completion of sentence, etc. Here is one example in three formats: factual or inferential comprehension. Answer the question in your own words. Why is Jim ashamed to say that Frities begin it? Multiply choice mark and the right answer. Jim is ashamed to say that Frities began it because 1. He didn't know how to do it. 2. He wishes he had done it first. 3. He didn't want to do it. Sentence completion. Choose the right item and complete the sentence. But it is true that Frities began it, much to my delight and dismay. A related item here is the use of begin and start in appropriate context. Use begin or start appropriately in the following sentences. 1. What time do you work in the dash work in the morning? If you want to get there, we should dash now. 3. The film dash at 7 p.m. 4. No matter how you try, the car won't dash. Very often begin and start can be used in the same way. So start is more common in informal speech. See sentence 1 and 3. In some construction only start can be used. See sentences 2 and 4. Question under working with the text to be answered orally, later to be written in the copybook. At the end of the lesson, draw children's attention to the two quotations given in the box. Let them discuss how the story illustrates the same ideas. Then ask them to find sentences in the story which appeal to them most. Here are some examples. We agreed about everything and he was my enemy. No one dies in a football match. No children are orphaned. No views became windows. I knew from all that happened today how much both rhymes long for pieces. We shall be together again. I am sure of it. It's a good example of the use of the irony in the story. Notes for the teacher. The ant and the cricket. Spend about 15 minutes eliciting and listening to fable-like stories from children, preferably in their own languages, as help them retell one or two in English by providing appropriate words and phrases. The story about the sun and the wind at the end of the glimpses of the past may be used here. Ask them if it is a fable, though there are no animals in it. Try the following writing task. Rearrange the following sentences to construct a story. Start with sentence 4. One cold day, a hungry grasshopper came to the anthill and begged for a little something to eat. Too, he replied, "Alas, I spend all my time singing and playing and dancing and never thought about winter." 3. One ant asked him how he had spent his time during summer and whether he had saved anything for winter. 4. A nest of ants had been occupied all through the summer and autumn, collecting food for winter. 5. They carefully stored it in the underground chambers of their home. 6. Then we have nothing to give you. 7. Thus, when winter came, they had plenty to eat. 8. People who play and sing all summer should only dance in winter. 9. The ant answered. Find 3 adjectives in the first stanza associated with summer and spring. Find 4 phrases lines in the same stanza associated with the onset of winter. Suppose the last line of the first stanza were to rewritten as "Oh, what will become of me?" says the cricket. Would you find it acceptable in the poem? If not, why not? Speak the words given below. Ask children to write the word and against it 2 new words that rhyme me. Sing, cram, throw, visit. Last sound in crams is M, in visit it is it. Activity 4 under working with language needs patience and time. Punctuation in writing sentences is important teaching point. Since the activity is to be taken up in groups, there will be several variations of each sentence. To begin with, encourage children to discuss why only one version is grammatically acceptable and not the other. The tsunami, a natural calamity causing haste, destruction and loss of life and property. Alongside the story of deep sorrow or sharing details of increased survival and resilience, while covering section and subsections of the text, focus on situation in which children realize the importance of doing wherever possible to save human and animals' life, to participate in relief work and to understand the concept of disaster management. Elicit their comments on and reaction to the stories of Meghana and Alams. Focus on values such as courage, care and compassion in the better struggle for survival and rehabilitation. The activity under before you read is like an elementary geography lesson. Map reading along with language work, asking, answering questions, supporting location, direction and describing them with precision is good example of the obtaining of subject boundaries and conforming to the ideas of language across the curriculum. Use other maps from the geography history textbook for further practice. While dealing with activity, active passive voice working with language activity. 3. Provide samples of text exemplifying the use of passive voice such as short newspaper reports and description of processes. Expressment as for possible avoid a mechanical transformation exercise confined to isolated sentences. Try a simple exercise given here. Complete the passage using the passive form, the verb given in brackets. Alive, oil, dash used for cooking, salad, dressing, etc. Alives, dash picks in autumn when they are ripe. They dash sack from the tree and dash gather up usually by hand. Then they dash grind two things paste which dash separate into special mats. The mats them dash layer up on the processing machine which will gently squeeze them to produce alive oil. The last activity under speaking and writing is step towards reducing the gap between children's life at school and their life outside the school. Geography lesson. Children already know words like the aeroplane, airport, etc. Draw their attention to words like jetliner, jet engineering and jet lag in the following activity. Match item under A and those under B. A. Jetliner, fatigue, tiredness after long flight, jet lag, rich social group, flying around the world for business, for pleasures. A. Jet engine. B. Aircraft powered by jet engine. A. The jet set. B. Engine that emit high speed hot gases in the back when it moves forward. Second, check the meaning of jet black and jet sam in the dictionary. Complete the items jet sam and dash. Today, if there is border dispute or any other continuous issues between two countries, an organization called the United Nations acts as mediator, keep peace and order in the world, encourages children to gather information about the UN and its constituent bodies. Peace Memorial Park is the only park of its kind in the world. It is in the Hiroshima, Japan and marks the spot where the first atomic bomb was dropped on. That children will remember the date and event in they recall the activity under. Before you read in the best Christmas present in the world. A mini project could be planned on this. Ask children to draw a map of their locality, village, depicting its physical features and distances between places etc. Recite and write on the blackboard the flowing poem and discuss the item given at end of the poem. Wake gently this morning, true or different day. Listen, there is no bouquet of buses, no horns and blow. There is only the slice of city housed with snow. Name a few cities in India. Which is the poem reminds you of? Which words, phrases in the poem evoke images different from those suggested by the lines of the city? Glimpses of the past. Glimpses of the history of our country to be understood through pictures with stripes of text for support. Children have a natural enthusiasm of this kind of material in the textbook. Children may read the comic strip aloud, then they break up into small groups, discuss what they have read and write a summary. Each group presents its summary on by one. The whole class then enters into the general discussion and a consolidated drafts of the composition is prepared with the active support of the teacher. Conversely, divide the class into small groups. Let each group look at and describe a set of pictures assigned to them and construct their own text. Text thus produced can be put together to form the constant story to be added for accessory. If necessary, text may first be produced in the child's own language and the teacher can help them to reformulate these in English. For children fluent in English, this may be an opportunity to formulate equivalent text in their own languages. Some details of each glimpse of the past may have from the history textbook of the same class. The story teacher may be invited to facilitate activity. Picture reading under speaking and writing to be attempted in the same manner. Creating a comic activity 5 will be great fun if children can be persuaded to draw. Learn to draw matchstick figures. Enlist the help of the art teacher. Make witty the mystery cat. Have you ever wondered why people generally communicate with their pet dog mainly in English? What would you say to persuade your cat to leave the mouse alone? Try to say it in English. Which sentence about McVitie has been repeated 4 times in the poem? Why has it been repeated? Think about it. Mention a couple of crimes discovered in the kitchen and your McVitie has now here to be seen. Find in feline shape. Does it remind you of a similar expression about oof? What is it and what does it mean? Here are 4 lines about some cat. Read them and say whether it is my street cat. My kitten walks on velvet feet and makes no sound at all, and in the doorway nightly sighs to watch the darkness fall. 8. Honey dew. Lesson number honey dew. First chapter, the best Christmas present in the world. Before you read, there are some dates or periods of time in the history of the world that are so significant that everyone knows and remembers them. The story we will read mention one such date and event, a war between the British and the Germans in 1914. Can you guess which war it was? Do you know which event the date below refer to? A. 4 July 1776. B. 17 December 1903. C. 6 August 1945. D. 30 January 1948. E. 12 April 1968. F. 20 July 1969. The answer are on page 23. First, I supported it in a junk shop in Bridgeport, a roll-top desk. The man said it was early 19th century and thought I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in bad condition. The roll stopped in several pieces on leg, clumsily method, search, scorch marks all down one side. It was going for a very little money. I thought I could restore it. It would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of garage. I began work on it on Christmas Eve. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers the wearer had left almost everywhere. It supported it, shy it, found it informal, scorch marks, burn marks, was going for, was selling for, informal, restore, hair repair, veneer, a damn layer of plastic or decorative wood on furniture of cheap wood. Looked like water damage to me. Both fire and water had clearly taken their toll on this desk. The last drawer was stuck fast. I tried all I could to ease it out gently and I used brute force. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist and the drawer flew open, the reveal and shallow space underneath a secret drawer. There was something in there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. Cello strapped to the top. It was piece of lined note paper and written on it in Seki handwriting. Jim's last letters, received January 25, 1950, to be buried with me when in the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box, but curiosity got the better of my scruples. It usually does. Scruples, feelings that make you hesitant to do something wrong. Inside the box there was an envelope. The addresses read Mr. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridgeport, Dorset. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1940. Comprehension. Check. 1. What did the author find a junk shop? 2. What did he find this secret drawer? Who do you think had put it in there? Second, dearest Connie, I write to you in much happier frame of mind because something wonderful has just happened that I must tell you about at once. We were all standing in our trenches yesterday morning. Christmas morning, it was crepes and quite all about as beautiful a morning as I have ever seen, as cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. I should like to be able to tell you that we began it, but the truth I am ashamed to say. See that threat is vegan, and for someone saw white flag waving from the trenches opposite, then they were calling out to us from across no man's land. Happy Christmas, Tommy, Happy Christmas. When you had got over the surprise, some of you shouted back, Same to you, Fitties, same to you. I thought that would be that. We all did, but then suddenly one of them was up there in his great coat and wearing a white flag. Don't shout, land, someone shouted, and no one did. Then there was another fritters up on the parapet and another. Keep your head down, I told the man. It's tricks. But it wasn't. One of the Germans was waving a bottle above his head. It is Christmas Day. Tommy, we have scarpins, we have suitcases, we meet you. Yes, by this time there were dozens of them walking towards us across no man's land and not a fly between them. Little Private Maurice was the first up. Come on, boys, what are you waiting for? And then there was no stopping them. I was the officer. I should have stopped them there and then, I suppose, but the truth is that it never even exposed me. I stood all along their line and ours. I could see men walking slowly towards one another, grey coats, khaki coats meeting in the middle, and I was one of them. I was part of this. In the middle of the war we were making pieces. You cannot imagine, started Connie, my feelings as I looked into the eyes of the British officer who had approached me, outstretched hands off. He said, gripping my hand warmly and holding it. I am from Dusseldorf. I play the cello in the orchard. Happy Christmas. Cello, a musical instrument like a large violin. Captain Jim Musferson replied, and Happy Christmas to you too. I am a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England. Dorset. He smiled. I know this place. I know it very well. We shared my rum ration and his excellent suggestions, and we talked. Connie, how we talked. He spoke almost perfect English, but it turned out that he had never set foot in Dorset, never even been to England. He had learned all he knew of England from school and from reading books in English. His favorite writer was Thomas Hardy. His favorite book far from madding crowd. So out there in no man's land we talked of Bathsheba and Gabriel Oak and Sergeant Troy and Dorset. He had a wife and one son, born just 6 months ago. As I looked about me, there were handles of khaki and grey everywhere, all over no man's land, smoking, laughing, talking, eating. Hands off, and I said, what was left of your wonderful Christmas cake, Kenny? He thought the marzipan was the best he had ever tasted. I agreed. We agreed about everything, and he was my enemy. There never was Christmas party like it, Connie. Then someone, I didn't know who, brought out a football greatcoats were dumped in fields to make goalposts, and the next thing we know, it was Tommy Agnes Fritters out in the middle of no man's land, hands off, and I walked on and cheered, clapping our hands and stamping our feet to keep out the cold as much as anything. There was a moment when I noticed our breathes mingling in the air between us. We saw it too and smiled. Jim McPherson, he said after a while, I think this is how we should resolve this hour. A football match. No one died in football match. No children are orphaned. No wishes became windows. I did prefer cricket, I told him. Then we Tommies could be sure of winning. Probably we laughed at that, and together we watched the game set to see marzipan, a sweet covering on cake made from sugar, eggs, and almonds. Connie Fritz on 2-1, but as hands off generally said, our goals was better than theirs, so it wasn't quite fair. The time came, and all too soon. When this game was finished, the expense and the rum and the sages had long since run out, and we knew it was all over. Visited Hanswell and told him I hoped he would see his family again soon, that the fighting would end, we could all go home. I think that is what every soldier wants on both sides. Hans said, take care, Jim McPherson. I shall never forget this moment, nor you. He saluted and walked away from me slowly. Unwillingly, I felt he turned to wave just once, and then became one of the hundreds of grey-coated men retreating back towards their trenches. That night, back in our dugouts, we heard them singing a carol, and singing it quite beautifully. It was still nest. Slim night, our boys gave them rushing chorus of wild spreads. Watched we exchanged carols for a while, and then we all fell asleep. We had our time of peace and goodwill, a time I will treasure as long as I live. dug out a shelter for soldiers mad by digging a hole in the ground and covering it. The best Christmas present in the world. Dearest Connie, by Christmas time next year, this war will be nothing but distant and trivial memory. Know from all that happened today how much both rhymes long for pieces. We shall be together again soon. I am sure of it. Your loving Jim. Comprehension check. Who had written the letter to whom and when? 2. Why was the letter written? What was the wonderful thing that had happened? 3. What job did Hans of Wolf and Jim McPherson have when they were not soldiers? 4. Had Hans Wolf ever been to Dorset? Why did he say the no it? 5. Do you think Jim McPherson come back from the war? How do you know this? 3rd. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning I knew what I had to do. I drove into the Bridgeport, just a few miles away. I asked a boy walking his dog where Copper Beaches was. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burned out shell, the roofs gaping, the windows boarded up. I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts Mr. McPherson. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. He knew her well. A lovely old lady, he told me, a bit middle-headed, but at her age she was intended to be, wasn't she? 101 years old. She had been in the house when it caught fire. No one really knew how the fire had started, but it could well have been candles. She used candles rather than electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in nursing home now. Expensive fireman had got her out just in time. She was a nursing home now, he told me. Burlington House on the Dorchester Road on the other side of town. Burned out, destroyed by fire, boarded up, covered with wooden boards, muddles, headed, confused. Honeydew. Comprehension check. Why did the author go to Bridgeport? 2. How old was Mr. McPherson now? Where was she? I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. There were paper chains up in the hallway and lighted Christmas trees stood in the corner with a lopsided angels on top. I said I was a friend come to visit Mr. McPherson to bring her Christmas present. I could see through into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. She even in fact me my speak. She walked me along with the corridor. Mr. McPherson is not in with the others, she told me. She is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a court rash. She has no family, you know, no one she visits. So I am sure she is be only too pleased to see you. She took me into the conservatory with wicker chairs and potted plants all around. It left me. The old lady was sitting in wheelchair, her hand wicker chairs, wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. She had silver white hair pinned into wispy bun. She was gazing out at the garden. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. Happy Christmas, Kenny, I went on. I found this, I think, yours. Yes, I was speaking. Her eyes never left my face. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. Explained about the desk, about how had found it, but I don't think she was listening for while the best Christmas presents in the world. She said nothing but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. Suddenly she reached out and took my hand. Her eyes are filled with tears. You told me you do come home by Christmas, dearest, she said, and here you are, the best Christmas present in the world. Come close, Jim, dear, sit down. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheek. I read your letter so often, Jim, every day. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. It always made me feel you were with me, and now you are now yours back. You can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? I just want to hear your voice again. I we'd love that so much, and then perhaps we will have some tea. I have made by nice Christmas cake. Marzipan all around. I know how much you love marzipan. Michael Marocco. Michel Marocco. Comprehension check. 1. Who did Kenny McCreation think her visitor was? 2. Which sentence in the text so that the visitor did not try to hide this identify? Working with the next. 1. For how long do you think Connie had kept Jim's letter? Give reasons for your answer. 2. Why do you think his decks had been sold and when? 3. Why do Jim and Hans think that games or sports are good ways to resolving conflicts? Do you agree? 4. Do you think these soldiers of the two armies are like each other or different from each other? Find evidence from the story support your answer. 5. Mention the various ways in which the British and the German soldiers became parents and find things in common at Christmas. 6. What is Kenny's Christmas present? Why is it the best Christmas present in the world? Do you think the title of this story is suitable for it? Can you think of any other titles? 16. Honey Dew. Working with language. 1. Look at these sentences from the story. I supported it in a junk shop in Bridgeport. The man said it was made in the early 19th century. This one was in bad condition. The Italians said verbs are in the past tense. They tell us what happened in the past before now. 1. Read the passage below and underline the verbs in past tense. A man got on the train and sat down. The compartment was empty except for one lady. She took her gloves off. A few hours later, the police arrested the man. They held him for 24 hours and then freed him. Now look at these sentences. The Vinir had lifted almost everywhere. Both fire and weather had taken their toll on this desk. Notice the verb form and lifted had taken their toll. The author found and worked in desk in the past. The desk was damaged before the author found it and worked it. Fire and water had damaged the desk before the author found it and worked it. We use verb from like had damaged for an event in the earlier past. If there are two events in the past, we use the had form of the event that occurred first in the past. We also use the past perfect tense to show that something was wished for, expected before a particular time in the past. For example, I had always wanted one. Discuss with your partner the difference in meaning in the sentences below. When I reached the station, the train left. When I reached the station, the train had left. Fill in the blanks using the correct form of the verb in the brackets. My little sister is very naughty. When she dash come back from school yesterday, she had dash tear her dress. We dash ask her how it had dash happens. She dash says she dash have quarrel with a boy. She dash have beat him in dress and he dash have tried to push her. She dash had the best Christmas present in world. 17. Tell the teachers and so he dash have cheese her and she dash have fall down and dash have tear her dress. Third, underline the verb and arrange them into two columns, past and earlier past. My friend set out to see the cabs in next town, but I started at home because I had seen them already. B, when they arrived at this station, their train had left. They came back home, but by that time I had gone out to see move. See, so they sat outside and ate in lunch. I had packed for them. Tea by the time I returned, they had fallen asleep. Past, earlier past. To dictionary work. By the end of the journey, we had run out drinking water. Look at the verb run out of in this sentence. It is phrasal verb. It has two parts, a verb and preposition or an adverb. Phrasal verb often have meanings that are different from the meaning of their parts. Find this phrase verb in the story. Burn out, light up, look on, run out, keep out. Write down the sentence in which they occur. Consult dictionary and write down the meaning that you think matches in the meaning of the phrasal verb in the sentence. 3. Noun phrases. Read the following sentence. I took out a small blank tin box. The phrases in italics is noun phrases. It has the noun dash was as the head word and 3 adjective preceding it. 1800 you. Notice the order in which is the adjective super size, small, color, blacks and material tin of which it is made. We really use more than 4 adjectives before noun, and there is no rigid order in which they are used. So, though there is preferred order of modifier adjectives in noun phrase as given below. Determiner A and the modifier 1 opinion, feeling, nice, lazy, beautiful. Modifier 2 size, shape, as, tall, round, old, young. Modifier 3 color, red, white, light, dark. Modifier 4 material, silk, cotton. Head, word, woman, mat, table, chair. 4. The table below contains a list of nouns and some adjectives. Use many adjectives as you can to describe each noun. You might come up with some funny description. Nouns: elephant, face, welding, water. Adjectives: circular, striped, enormous, multicolored, round, cheerful, wild, blue, red, curvy, large, medium sized, cold. Speaking. 1. In groups, discuss whether wars are a good way to end conflicts between countries. Then present your arguments to the whole classes. 2. What kinds of present do you like and why? What are the things you keep the mind when you buy the presents of others? Discuss with your partner. For example, you might have buy a book because it can read and reread over the period of time. The best Christmas present in the world. 19. Writing. 1. Imagine that you are Jim. You have returned to your towns after the hour. In your diary, record how you feel about the changes you see and the event that occur in your town. You could begin like this. 25 December 1990. It's Christmas today, but the town books. Suppose you are the visitor. You are in dilemma. You don't know whether to disclose your identity and disappointed the world lady or let her believe that her dear Jim has come back. Write a letter to friend highlighting your unacceptable fears and feelings. Given below is the outline of story. Construct the story using the outline. A young newly married doctor dash freedom fighter. British dash infamous secular jail dash prisoner to trend dash revolt by invited doctors. Hanged wife waited for this returns, becomes old, continues to wait with hope and faith. War is the greatest plague that can conflict humanity. It destroys religion, it destroys states, it destroys familiar. Martin Luther. This book is neither an accusation nor an confusion, and least of all an adventure, for death is not an adventure to those who stand face to face with it. It will try simply to tell of the generation of men who, even thought they may have experiences, were destroyed by the war. H. Maria Remarque, author of All Quiet Western Front. 20. Honeydew. The Ant and the Cricket. A fable is a story obtained with animals as characters that any conveys a moral. This poem about an ant and cricket contains an idea of far-reaching significance, which is true of four-legged cricket as of two-legged and one. Surely you have seen cricket that has two legs. A silly young cricket's expectant Singh thought the warm sunny method of summer and spring began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Not the come to the pond on the snow covered ground. Not a flower could be seen, not a leaf on the tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? At least by starvation and famine's word hold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to sleep, and to see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain and mouthful of grain. You wished only to bro he had repaired at tomorrow. If not, he must die starvation and straw. Says the ant of the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never grow. We want ants never land. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing be when the weather was warm or cold to the cricket? Not it. My head was so light that I sang day and night. For all nature looked gay. You say, sang sir. You say, go. Sir, you say, go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted in a wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Flocks call this fable. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs, and some have two, adapted from Aspian fables. Glossary. Expert to sing, used to singing, in the habits of singing. Feminine secretary of food, having nothing to eat. Lay nothing by, save nothing, quit, hold, English said. Honey drew. 22. Working with the poem, the cricket says, who, what will become of me? When does he say and why? To find in the poem the lines that means the same as neither a browser nor lander be the Shakespeare. 2. What is your opinion of ant's principles? 3. The ant tells the crickets to dance and winter away. Do you think the world dance is appropriate to hear? If so, why? 4. Which lines in the poem express the poet comments? Read them aloud. To write the comment in your own words. If you know fable in your own language, narrate it to your classmate. Answer to question and page 9. A. American Declaration of Independence. B. Belabor and reveal Wright made the first flight, remaining in the air for 12 seconds and covering 120 feet. C. Hiroshima Day on atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima in Japan on this day. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, Yuri Gagarin became the first woman to orbit the Earth. F. Neil Armstrong became the first woman to set foot in the moon. And the crickets. Thank you for watching video.